I'm Berks County Commissioner Christian Leinbach, and I want to welcome everyone to our Berks County Board of Commissioners meeting for September the 23rd. We are broadcasting live on Microsoft Teams live event, BCTV, Facebook, and YouTube Live. At this time, I'd like to recognize my Executive Assistant, Mary Buer.
Thank you. Public comment will be accepted in person and through the Q&A function. Please include your first name, last name, and municipality for all comments. Any comments without name and municipality will not be considered. Each citizen can submit one comment. Comment length is dictated by limitations of the platform being used, Teams Q&A, Facebook, or YouTube. In-person comments will be accepted first, followed by comments submitted virtually. The meeting comment period is limited to a total of 30 minutes, including both in-person and virtual comments. This time period may be extended at the discretion of the board. Please be concise. Comments that are germane to county business will be read during the meeting and should not be considered to be interactive dialogue with the commissioners. The county solicitor shall be the final arbiter of whether a comment is germane and should be read. Any commissioner response to public comment will be done at the discretion of the commissioners.
Thank you very much, Mary. As always, we will begin with a moment of silence followed by a pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. September is National Recovery Month, and as we do each year, we celebrate recovery at one of our meetings in the month of September. Due to the pandemic and some of the challenges of having a large group, we are having Stan Papadimitriou join us virtually on the program. We're very glad to have him. I want to also thank Yvonne Stroman, Yvonne and the team. Yeah. Oh, I thought, hold on a second. Side note, I was going to do that once at the beginning of the agenda. Are we okay with that, Peter?
Sorry, we're live, so.
This is live television or something. Is that okay? Okay. Well, I was all rolling, fired up, but it's okay. September's National Recovery Month. I wanted to note that this past Saturday, all three commissioners had the privilege of joining Yvonne Stroman and the COCA team at RAC for the 5K walk run. Now, in all honesty, only one of the commissioners actually did the walk or the run. It was Commissioner Barnhart, but the other two commissioners had a good reason. We went up to a Habitat for Humanity event and we couldn't do both. So we represented Commissioner Barnhart up at that event, but it was a great event, great turnout, great weather. And with that, I will introduce Stan Papadimitriou, the Executive Director of the Council on Chemical Abuse. Stan. You are muted, Stan. Oh, there's Yvonne bailing Stan out.
So Yvonne bailing Stan out is the norm. So good morning and thank you for allowing us to be on the agenda today. As you mentioned, Commissioner Leinbach, September is Recovery Month, and it is a month that is used to recognize those individuals who have addressed and overcome their addiction. It's estimated in Berks County there's approximately 30,000 individuals in recovery from substance use disorder. That's no small number. And it's a time of gratitude. And I just want to take a moment here just to say on behalf of COCA and the Berks County residents that we serve, thank you so much to the Board of Commissioners for all you do to assure that substance use services are provided in the county, whether it be prevention, intervention, treatment, recovery-related services. Berks County has a very rich continuum of care here, and that is due to a long history of Board of County Commissioners who have been supportive of that, and not merely supportive in terms of money and those kind of resources, but supportive in terms of advocacy and encouragement. As you mentioned, the annual recovery walk that was held this past Saturday, the first time in my memory, all three commissioners were there. Obviously, it wasn't to come and take a nice little stroll, it was come to show your support and the county's support for those folks able to overcome their substance use disorder and addiction. So with that, again, a huge thank you from COCA and the folks that we serve. And now I'm going to turn this over to Yvonne, and she's going to take it from here with the recovery program for the commissioners. Thank you and have a great day.
Good morning. Always a pleasure to see our leaders in action. And so, while you are here day to day making important decisions in the county to make sure that we have a robust county that is filled with jobs and services, I just want to personally thank you for the efforts that oftentimes you do behind the scenes. Saturday morning, we had a recovery walk. And one of those things that I think is very special about Berks County is that our county commissioners show up. When we extend an invitation, they look at their schedules and they show up where they can. And so I just want to thank you for time and time again being there, allowing these taxpayer dollars to be available. As a person that's in long-term recovery of 31 years, I can tell you a task when I went there for an assessment to get some treatment and to be publicly funded by those dollars. It is why I'm standing here today. Make no doubt about that. So I'm just really appreciative of the time, the effort, the decisions that you make just to make folks well. I often say this is a life and death business that we're in when we're talking about the disease of addiction. It's an insidious disease that knows no boundaries, knows no color, knows no economic, knows no academic background, and any one of us can fall prey to this insidious disease. I'm blessed beyond my wildest dreams today, and it's a direct result of the decisions in Berks County leadership. That is why I'm here standing. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I do have a few people here this morning that would also like to say thank you. So I'm going to ask them to come up to the podium and give their 1 or 2 minutes of thanks to, if you wouldn't mind letting us indulge you with those, sir. JC, do you want to come up?
Good morning, my name is JC and I'm a person in recovery. I'm really grateful to be here today. I'm grateful for what you guys do for us, for all the funding. There is a way out. There is hope for people like us. So I'm really grateful for that. A little bit about myself. I'm originally from New York. I came to PA on July 1st, 2020. I went to Caring Foundation in Wernersville. I was there for about a month. And then after that, I went to a place called Transitions in Moulton, PA. And I was there for a couple months. And then I finally ended up at Camp Joy. And, it's an amazing place. I met a lot of people throughout the way. But I couldn't have done this without you guys, but without the funding and the guys in my network, my sponsor, my higher power, like Yvonne said before, this disease doesn't discriminate. Doesn't matter where you're from, what color your skin is. This disease is scary. I'm 36 years old, and I've been in and out of recovery for the past 6 months. This is my second shot. I'm very grateful for it. I'm coming up on 15 months, and today I'm just very grateful for the people around me. For me, recovery is I gotta trust the process. Take the suggestions. Being humble. Listening to people who know more than me. That's what recovery is to me all about. And there is, like I said, last thing I want to say is, there is a way out, and there's hope. There's hope for people like us. We alcoholics and addicts, we're not bad people. We just made bad decisions, but there's ways to fix your life. You just got to put in the work and do the right thing.
Thank you, JC. And now I'm going to ask if Scott Althouse, as you know, Scott Althouse is the executive director at Easy Does It Incorporated, and I've asked him to come and just kind of share a few kind words with you this morning as well. Scott?
Hi, good morning, Commissioners. It's a pleasure to spend a few moments together today virtually. Not only are your meetings impacted deeply by the pandemic, but so too are the many services that all of us provide here in the county. The last year and a half has been a real challenge, but I think a lot of people that have experienced isolation and fed their disease of addiction are really probably extra grateful for opportunities to come into communities of hope, such as Easy Does It and the YMCA and many other providers in the community. We are able to maintain a community for people to have recovery, have housing, to practice their life skills, get a foundation, and get back to work and regain independence. It's been a great year despite the pandemic, and I just wanted to give a couple numbers so you know how many people you helped at Easy Does It. Over the last fiscal year, there were 139 individuals who were served in our recovery housing program and delivered recovery support services. Of those people, 78% were engaged in a pathway of recovery, which we identify as an evidence-based pathway, such as medication-assisted treatment or a 12-step mutual aid group or other. 75% maintained or increased their income, even during the pandemic. It was a wonderful thing. And also many, 72% achieved more than 3 goals in their individual recovery plan while they were with us at EDI. Some of those goals might be family reunification, pursuing education, increasing their income through employment, or building up a foundation in recovery by establishing a home group and a sponsor and working the 12 steps or otherwise. Finally, I know a lot of people talk about recurrence of use or relapse as being an indicator of this disease. We all are well too familiar with that. I wanted to say that we had some really strong numbers in terms of favorable numbers. We had of 139 clients, 117 did remain abstinent from drugs and alcohol while they were with us at EDI, while only 22 clients had to be discharged because they refused to continue on with treatment. That's really sad to see 22 people, but to know that 117 or 84% were continuing on with the pathway of recovery and remain absent, that's a terrific number, especially when you look at it in light of the pandemic. I'm not here to bore you with more details and statistics, but there are a lot of stories of hope, and I want to introduce you to 2 people who are really grateful for your support, as am I, and thank you very much. The first person I'd like for you to meet is Michelle Strauss, and here's Michelle.
Hi, my name is Michelle Strauss. I'm really honored. I feel lucky to be here to be able to thank people, see you face to face. The people have put in on the other side. We don't think about that much, until you get to a certain point and you're like, okay, it does start somewhere. And, I'm thankful that it starts with you guys. I've been a resident at EDI for almost a year now. My clean date is July 13th, 2020, which I did make the switch because there's not help in Montgomery County like I've experienced here. Since I've been at EDI, I've been able to start school. I have straight A's in school. I've been able to reconnect with my family. my daughter mainly, who I was, absent from her life for about 10 years. So I'm appreciative of that. And the thing I thought I'd never do was get off probation and be, not a legal menace anymore and be able to get back into the real community and give back. So thank you.
Good morning. I'm kind of nervous, so bear with me. My name is Angel Martinez. I'm originally from New Jersey, North New Jersey. I've been out here over 10 years, like 10 years already. And wherever I went, you know how it goes. You take yourself wherever you go. So, I ended up in Sinking Spring and wound up being in Reading and found all the wrong things out there. But now let me tell you a little bit about the process. I started this process in 2019. One day I just got up and I said I was done. I was done. I needed help. Well, now I was gonna die. So I wound up going to Pyramid in Katasaku at the time. And I had little problems, but I completed it. I ended up in Easy Does It in December 2019. My first few months there were kind of rough. I didn't trust, I didn't, but the problem was that I was dealing with other issues. I'm diagnosed with bipolar schizophrenic, and at the time I wasn't getting no help at the time. So with the little help with my CRS and the people at EDI, they suggested that I go to threshold. So I applied myself with threshold. I was going, and I'm still there. I still go. Now I go less. I go 2 times a week, but before I was going 3 times a week. And eventually, I got on the right meds and everything, and I started taking suggestions from people at EDI, and I started going on. Things started to get better for me. And started, I applied. I applied for the SSI, for Social Security, SSI, supplement. And at times back then I did it before, but I never could keep going through it because of my addiction, I never had time, Every time they send me a letter, I had no time, I wanted to get high first, that came before anything. And from there on, it's been great at EDI. I can't repay them back. What they have done for me, and it's an awesome place. The people there, they care. They really care. They really help people out. When you need. But if you don't help yourself, they can't do all the work for you. You got to put in all the work yourself, though. But it's been an amazing journey, man. And one more thing I gotta say is, EDI can't stop me from getting high. But I tell you one thing, they gave me the tools not to. It's been a great place there. And another thing, Sober Stock is on this weekend. You're welcome to come. And thank you.
So, commissioners, just to wrap things up, we want to say just thank you, a resounding thank you for the work that you do, for the hard decisions that you are making day in and day out. And we just wanted you to know that this is just a small representation of what recovery represents in Berks County. I can tell you personally, there are over 100 meetings of recovery support and Alcoholics Anonymous throughout the week, every day. There isn't a time that you can't get to a meeting if folks doesn't really want to desire to do so. And there are other pathways, as we know, Teen Challenge. There's other pathways such as Narcotics Anonymous, Dharma Recovery, Smart Recovery, many forms of facets that people are gravitating to get well. But it does start with you, sir. I want you to know, gentlemen, that you are making a difference. And oftentimes we don't hear about it in the news, but we see it, and you were able to see that on this past Saturday. Again, as Angel said, we invite you to join us at Sober Stock on Saturday from 12 to 3. And we really just want to give you one big thank you for all the work that you do. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you very much, Yvonne. Thank you, Stan. And especially thank you for the stories of real people. That's what this is about. It's not about being able to say we've got a program. It's about seeing and hearing the stories of people that have been helped, I love how most, if not all of you, highlighted this isn't something that is done for them. They have a part to play too. They have to make the decision that they want to change. The last gentleman that spoke said EDI gives him the tools. And that's what we want to continue to see. We want to continue to celebrate recovery and highlight this Saturday, Sober Stock at EDI. That's over at the North Campus, just off of County Welfare Road. I believe it's not Hill Road, or is it Hill Road? Hilltop Road.
Hilltop,
Yeah,
sir.
Hilltop Road. I plan to be there around noon on Saturday. I already let Scott know that, but definitely a great event. And for those of you that may not understand what Sober Stock is, just think about it and it will make complete sense. You don't have to have alcohol and drugs to have a really great time, and that's what Sober Stock is all about. With that, we are going to move to our Berks County COVID-19 data report. And I want to recognize Brian Gottschall, our director of the Berks County Department of Emergency Services.
Thanks, Commissioner. I'll just give a moment to let IT get the slideshow up. All righty. Yes, September 23rd, our weekly report on COVID. Taking a look at our case and testing slide, there are just a couple things to take note here. We continue to see a growth in cases, although that has shallowed out a bit from what we had seen over the last few weeks, which is great news. The other good news in the slide at this point is the larger amount of testing that we're doing. So, the testing is the orange line, if you will, or the orange bars that make up the top of the orange line. And you can see that we have a significant number of tests that are being conducted in the county. That's very important to believe that our counts are accurate because, of course, if we're doing a low volume of testing, we could be overlooking positive cases that aren't being tested. But based on the fact that we're doing a large amount of testing and are seeing a large amount of negatives, it's an indication that we're encompassing a lot of the potential cases that we really should be capturing. Our positivity rate has come down a bit. Again, as we have more testing going on and those tests are coming back negative, that's going to drive our positivity rate down. So it's kind of hard to say whether that's good news or bad news, meaning that it is more likely just a statistical anomaly related to the fact that our testing numbers have gone up in the last couple weeks beyond where they were previously. Our hospitals continue to be in good shape, although very busy, and we're seeing an increasing trend across the Commonwealth in this, where our hospitals are seeing a large number of COVID positive individuals. I do want to point out a little bit of a change that we made to this slide this week, and you'll note that the bottom slide, which looks at the bottom part of the slide, which looks at our most recent week, is a little different than the top part, which looks at the prior week. Up until this point, we have been reporting only the known or suspected cases in-house in the critical care units and on ventilators. Penn State Medical System, which encompasses Penn State St. Joe's Hospital in Berks County, has begun reporting as far as vaccinated and unvaccinated individuals in each of those categories, which is very important to help the public to understand the value, the benefit of individual vaccinations. So in the bottom part of the slide, we now don't just see the total number for St. Joe's, but we break that out to be able to see of those total numbers, how many in each grouping are vaccinated versus unvaccinated. And as we've been efforting to share, the impact among the unvaccinated is significantly greater. We have reached out to leadership at Reading Hospital, at Tower Health, and asked that they consider also utilizing this model to help the public to make their decisions, understand the risks, and be as well informed as they can be about the data related to COVID. Our deaths continue to be on an upward rise. Certainly, I think it would be unfair to call this steep, but when we are talking about people passing away, we definitely are seeing those numbers coming up. And we didn't include the slide again this week, but as we showed last week, this is not an unanticipated impact. We basically could have predicted based on our historical trends a number of weeks ago that as our COVID cases started going up, weeks later, we would start to see our deaths going up in a lower but parallel spike. Vaccine administrations, this is very vanilla, not a whole lot to say here. We're right where we have been, number 9, and no change in our per capita numbers. One bit of information I wanted to share with the public is that the state has now begun publishing third dose receipt in each county. So if you go to State DOH's website and look at their COVID dashboard, that new column that I've circled in green is now available for you to view, which shows how many third doses have been administered to individuals who are immunocompromised or otherwise eligible for an additional dose. Taking a look at our thermometers, Pennsylvania has hit about the 68% mark in over 18 fully vaccinated, but right now today end up at 75.3% of that over 18 population. When we back out the apparent number of people who it looks as though have received one dose but are unlikely to go and finish their second dose, we would really only get to about 66.7%. So we still have some room to go here. Again, some more good news. We continue to lead the Commonwealth on average in the growth in every age group with respect to vaccines since May 26th. So I guess another way to say it is we may have been slow getting out of the gates, but compared to our counterparts in other counties, we are continuing to go and get vaccinated in Berks County at a higher rate in every age group than is the average across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the exception being that 12 to 18 age group where we do trail. And then I left some emphasis on this slide, but prior to this morning, I didn't have this red stuff on the slide. I just had what's there, which was a reminder to folks that immunocompromised who are at least 4 weeks out from their second dose of an mRNA vaccine are eligible today to go and get a third dose. And then I was originally going to remind everybody that that's different from the discussed booster shots, which we were still waiting for information from the FDA on. However, in the late hours yesterday, after I prepared this slide, we actually heard from the FDA that they have authorized booster shots for a certain segment of the population. And that segment is those over 65 and those in high-risk occupations. And I don't think we have real good clarity of what high-risk occupations means, but the information that I've seen so far paints that brush very broadly. The healthcare community, correctional and shelter workers, as well as even folks like grocery store workers who have, repetitive and frequent face-to-face contact with members of the public. So we're waiting to see what the CDC recommendation on this will be. We would assume that they're going to move forward and make the recommendation in the same way that the FDA authorization exists. But as of today, the FDA has authorized boosters for those categories of people. And then finally, just a reminder about our doyourpartberks.com website, where you can go to find information with respect to COVID, including about vaccinations, and encourage everyone to speak to their local pharmacist, local healthcare provider if they have questions. And with that, Commissioner, I'm back to you.
Thank you very much, Brian. There is no Co-County Wellness Update that comes in every 2 weeks, so we'll have one next week. Are there any additions or corrections for the September 16th, 2021 Commissioner meeting minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as presented. We did have an executive session yesterday, dealt with contract negotiations, personnel, litigation, and security. We're going to move out of order. We're going to take item 322.2021A and move that to the front. We have Peter Edelman here. Adopt a resolution approving the financing by the Berks County Municipal Authority of the issuance of tax-exempt revenue bonds of a project for the benefit of Alvernia University, declaring that it is desirable for the health, safety, welfare of the people in the area served by Alvernia University for the authority to participate in the financing of the project. So, Peter, go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioner Leinbach, and good morning.
Good morning,
Commissioners. As summarized, I'm here on behalf of Alvernia University this morning. You saw they were in the news recently with the official opening of the College Town project down the street. A portion of that project was financed with tax-exempt bonds, and as a part of that financing, the university restructured all of its existing debt. They have another opportunity this year with the continuing low interest rates to complete another refinancing to save debt service for the university. So they are moving forward with a project of not to exceed $11 million to restructure some of their existing debt. A traditional high to low refinancing merely to take advantage of the current low interest rates. The Berks County Municipal Authority has agreed to be the conduit and has conducted the required public hearing to provide opportunity for members of the public to comment. So once again, we're here today for the last portion of the public approval process under the Internal Revenue Code, which requires the Board of County Commissioners also to approve this project. As noted in the past, there's no obligation whatsoever for the county. This is merely an approval as required by the Internal Revenue Code, again, to provide outreach to the public and opportunity to the public to ask questions and comment about this proposed project.
Thank you, Peter. Any questions from my colleagues? I will accept a motion on this resolution.
Motion to adopt resolution 322-2021 for the financing for the Berks County Municipal Authority regarding Alvernia University.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you.
I'm going to make a note. I might get through the agenda. I have to leave at 1:15 to go over to the new UGI training center for a ribbon cutting. So at whatever point I leave, Commissioner Barnhart has agreed to take over the reins to chair the balance of the meeting. I know he's looking forward to it. He'd prefer I get out of here sooner, but I'm not going to give you the satisfaction.
You'll never know from behind the mask.
Oh, they can see your eyes. You're smiling.
It's actually a public comment on the minutes, concerning the minutes. It's from Adrian Jadick. Why missing?
Concerning the minutes, okay?
This is not necessarily intended as a comment but before you approve the agenda, and then he corrected that to say minutes. Please note that it does not mention Crystal's comments from last meeting, or I don't find it. And then he came back with saying it was minutes,
okay.
Not agenda.
Time for an explanation.
Yeah.
Minutes are required to cover, according to Robert's rules, the actions, the formal actions of a meeting. That's what minutes cover. And that's what we will continue to cover. There's a record of the meeting, video with audio that you can refer and is up on our YouTube channel. I'm looking at here, Stephanie Weaver. It is also up for review on Facebook.
Just another point of clarification.
Yeah. This is our solicitor, Christine Sadler.
That was an online comment that was made at the last meeting, and we do attach the Q&As as part of the packet. Carmen just told me she forgot to attach that one portion to what was posted.
So they do include the Q&A, it's just not part of the minutes, but it's part of the packet.
It's part of the packet, and just this week when she posted it, she
Okay.
neglected, but that's part of our approved minute packet
Okay.
that the commissioners would have received the Q&A. That's part of the packet and posted every week.
Yeah, just for clarification, without saying any names, we used to go through some pretty significant back and forth with commissioners' comments. Commissioner, is this exactly what you said? Did I get it right? And I said to the individual at the time, look at Robert's rules. The minutes need to focus on the actions. Who was there? Was there a quorum? When did the meeting begin? When did the meeting end? And the actions and how people voted on those various actions. And that's what we are doing and will continue to do. Thank you, Mary, and Ron for waving me down. Okay, human resources, we have one item. Authorize the appointment of Kay Lacey to temporary office support in Parks and Rec. Under purchasing, adopt a resolution authorizing the award and the Director of Contracts and Procurements to execute 5 agreements as a result of an invitation to bid food provisions for a period of 1 year for the jail system, the BCRC, and the Berksheim as follows. Clover Farms Dairy, estimated annual, and that's from Reading, Pennsylvania, estimated annual expenditure $14,689.38. Metropolitan Foods, estimated annual expenditure of $409,653.11. Good Source Solutions, estimated annual expenditure of $68,321.09. Imperial Beverage Systems, estimated annual expenditure of $636.73. Simco Logistics, estimated annual expenditure of $28,902.35. There's one item listed under myself, adopt a resolution authorizing the reappointment of Kimberly McGrath, Douglasville, Pennsylvania, to the Berks County Agricultural Land Preservation Board for a 3-year term expiring December 31st of 2024. We already voted on the item under Commissioners. Item 2, motion to authorize execution of contract agreements and amendments as set forth on the attached listing dated September the 20th of 2021. There are a total of 17 contracts. There's one with the Area Agency on Aging, one with Career Link, one with Children and Youth Services, one with Elections, 12 with the Berks County Library System, and one with the Public Defender. And then item 3, a motion to authorize execution of payments and electronic transfers is set forth in the Controller's Office voucher listing dated September 23rd of 2021.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion is carried. And with that, we'll recognize our Berks County Treasurer, Dennis Adams, with the Treasurer's report.
A new scene here for me.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm used to that virtual stuff, you know?
You look good.
Yeah.
Boy, he said.
I got a comment for that. I'm not going to let that one go. This morning we have $23,549,760.63 in the general fund. We have a balance to clear of $4,404,338.70, leaving us with a balance of $219,145,421.93.
Thank you very much, Dennis. And we'll go now to our County Controller, Sandy Graffius, with the Controller's report.
Okay, we're going to trade places here. Our total accounts payable this week, $4,388,832.55. We have a payroll, $4,442,893.80.
Thank you very much.
The end.
And we'll move now to our Chief Administrative Officer, Ron Seaman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a few programming notes in our park system. This Saturday, we have the Walk with a Doctor, where walkers of all ages can join local pediatrician, Dr. Robert Cordes, on a 2-mile round trip hike on the Union Canal Connector Trail. That starts at Blue Marsh Lake Swiftwater Lane parking area. There is a slight incline on this hike, but it will highlight natural features and historic points of interest to be shared by the park staff. It's suitable for strollers and well-behaved leashed pets. The event will be held rain or shine, but according to weather forecasts I've heard, this Saturday should be fantastic for a walk. There are no restroom facilities, but you're urged to wear comfortable walking shoes and bring water. Additional, and I mention this because there is registration required for this next event on Friday, October the 8th from 6 till 8 p.m. They are conducting guided lantern.
Chief Beal, to Mighty Mike Faust, formerly of Feedback and WEEU, and to Ron Dunkelberger. But it's also great to see Mike Faust. I haven't seen Mike since he retired. And while Barry Rohrbach and Ron Dunkelberger, in a way, have been the face of Crime Alert, you could say that Mike Faust was largely the voice of Crime Alert with all of the different events that he did. But it was really great to see everyone back together, and Rick Perry-Andy, who's the president, leading the program this morning. With that, I'm going to head out, turn it over to my colleague, Commissioner Kevin Barnhart.
Thank you, Commissioner Leinbach, and safe travels to UGI. We will then turn to Commissioner Michael Rivera for his comments.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Barnhart.
That's okay.
Have some comments here today. First of all, I want to thank the Council on Chemical Abuse for the great work that they do. I want to thank Yvonne and Stan for being with us virtually today, as well as the presenters who spoke about their stories. If we look at it, each one of us has a story to tell. Maybe a story of recovery, it may be another type of story, but we each have a story to tell. And it's important that we share that story, that we talk about our experiences, that we let others know what we have been able to get through, which would in turn hopefully encourage them and help move them forward in whatever they are trying to get through as well. National Recovery Month is especially important for me. As I had mentioned on Friday morning there, my father went through Teen Challenge when he was a young adult, actually before I was born. So I would have to say that thanks to Teen Challenge, I'm here, because had he not gone through Teen Challenge and had he not changed his life, I don't know if I would be here today. So I want to thank Teen Challenge also for the work that they do, as well as all the other organizations that deal day in and day out with recovery. This past Saturday, I had the opportunity to visit the Reading Railroad Heritage Museum in Hamburg for the Rail Car Protection Building ribbon cutting. And it's a great opportunity to learn about the Reading Railroad. So if you have the chance, drop by and visit them. They do have, for the next 4 Saturdays, it's called Full Steam Ahead, the Architecture and Engineering of the Reading Railroad. And it's a program for children ages 6 through 11. And you have to have an accompanying adult with them. The session is limited to 12 children, but they do different things around the railroad, engineering, learn how things were done. So it's a really interesting program. For more information, you can go to readingrailroad.org. Again, that's readingrailroad.org to learn more about it and also to sign up. So sign up is required because it's limited to 12 children per Saturday. Also, want to remind everyone of the Fall 21 Road Ramble that the Berks History Center puts together twice a year. This one will be October the 9th, and it is a self-guided driving tour, which allows us to visit the past and learn about Berks County, especially in this time in the late 80s and the early 90s. Tickets are on sale now at berkshistory.org, or you can call them. But this is a great opportunity to learn more about the history in Berks County. Apart from the Soberfest and the events that Ron mentioned that are going on at the county parks, which I want to thank them for all the work that they do in providing outdoor activities for the community. But apart from the Soberfest, this Sunday is the 2nd annual Puerto Rican Parade and Greater Reading Salsa Festival. And the parade will start at 12 noon at 2nd and Penn. And then it ends at City Park, where the festival will be at. And that is, again, this Sunday. Also, on Saturday is the 8th annual community wellness event entitled Guts and Glory Wellness Expo. And this is sponsored by Penn State Health St. Joe's. It's a free event for the community. It will be held at Willow Glen Park in Sinking Spring from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., rain or shine. And there'll be different booths there around the farmers market, educational booth, community outreach organizations, and fresh locally sourced food made by local chefs. There'll be a fitness zone, yoga, massages, a whole bunch of different stuff there, all around wellness. So if you have a chance on Saturday, please visit that as well as the Soberfest. And on Sunday, drop by City Park sometime during the afternoon. And I believe that is all I have. Commissioner Linebuck, I'm sorry,
That's
Commissioner Barnhart.
Thank you, Commissioner
Back
Scott.
to you.
Shot fired. Thank you. So I too would like to commend those people in active recovery. They don't have to thank us. I need to thank them and their community sponsors and the institutions throughout this community that really support their efforts at recovery. These are not faceless people. They are the fabric of our community. We need to support them every step of the way. It's another shameless plug that we have the SOS Opioids Coalition. We meet every first Friday. We've been meeting virtually for an extended period of time, but we are continuing to look for people who care and want to support us on our efforts to combat opioids and other substance use disorders and overdoses. If you want more information about joining the group, we have 5 subcommittees. You can certainly reach out to Stan Papademetrio at Council on Chemical Abuse or to my office. My number is 610-478-6136. For more information about SOS Berks, the Opioids Coalition. Great group of about 35 to 40 people in the community who really are making great strides in turning back this epidemic we have of overdoses. I too would like to commend the award recipients this morning from Crime Alert, Chief Beal, retired Chief Beal, Mike Faust, as well as Ron Dunkelberger. I've known Ron Dunkelberger for, gosh, probably 40 years, being in not just in Crime Alert, but in local public meeting, which will consist of several agenda items. Someone who has a duplicate registration. We have 16 temporary polling locations to approve. The approval of the Dropbox locations and the times, and to review some finance infractions as well. So we have that will be available here in person in the boardroom as well as on Microsoft Teams. Last but not least, at our Mount Penn Preserve meeting last night, we had representation from the BAMBA board, the Berks Area Mountain Bike Association, and they had some concerns regarding our controlled deer management plan, which started September 18th. This is to thin the antlerless deer herd, which are devastating the area of the Mount Penn Preserve, specifically our Antietam Lake Park. And just to pass this on to leadership, these are some things we should probably consider. It is a 7-day-a-week hunt, so it includes Sunday. Doesn't give people the opportunity to recreate like they're accustomed to. And they do believe there should be an additional effort for additional advertising and some more noticeable signs along the area notifying people about the hunt. So they're not opposed to the hunt, don't get me wrong, but they feel as though it should be much more in your face kind of advertising and promotion to let people know to be concerned, about if they're out there walking and hiking and biking, that sort of thing. So again, the hours are sundown to sun up. So they really shouldn't be hiking and biking at midnight, but I guess when you get towards those periods of time, people do like to go out before the sun goes down and before the sun comes up. So just want to make sure everyone's very careful and recognize that this hunt will continue through January of 2022. So we are definitely trying to manage the forestry area, forest and parkland, but at the same time, want to make sure everyone's safe. So I wanted to pass that information on to staff here. If there's any way to make some modifications, some improvement of our advertising, we should consider that. That's all I have, and we can move then to reports of row officers. I think Sandy has someone she wants to introduce. Good morning again, Sandy.
Come here. I want you to know that this person is a wonderful, wonderful staff person, but I had to practice her name. This is, now if I get it right, I want you to just go like that, okay?
Sure.
Okay. This is Sayeda Asma Yakin.
Yes.
Look at that.
You got it.
And she is one of our newer senior government accountants. We have had some turnover in our office, so I'll be bringing people each week to introduce them to the public. But Asma, and see how I know I dropped all the other stuff. Asma is doing a wonderful job, and we're really glad to have her.
Thank you, Sandy.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm glad.
Welcome
to be here.
aboard.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Dennis will remain silent. Okay. Any other public comment here in the boardroom? So our procedure is if there's anyone here in the public who has signed in, I don't have a sign-in sheet, so I assume it's blank. Okay. And then we turn to our virtual questions, and I don't see any here, other than the one that was the question at the beginning of the meeting about the minutes. So that's all I have. If there's no other business to be brought before the Board of Commissioners, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Motion to adjourn.